Okay, so what we're looking at is reducing balance loans still. And in this case, we're looking at tracking the loan using an amortization table. So we want to look at the step-by-step basis of, you've got the payments being made, the interest, and finally the reduction in the principal. And as we can see here, we've got an example where we've got a loan of 5,500 to pay for a solar heating. The loan is to be paid over 3 years with quarterly repayments. So that means a total of 12 repayments. And it's going to be at 6% per annum. Okay, so the first part's looking at the quarterly repayment. And that's what we put in the calculator. We've got 12, 6, minus 4. It's just minus because it's a loan, and that's because essentially that's money we're giving up. So we put that into the calculator. And I'll put that in already. Final value is 0 because it's been fully repaid. And I'll go enter. And I'll get 524. Why is that doing it? I changed that. That's 6. Damn it. Stupid machine. 6. Okay, so you get 50424. So what you'll get is as a repayment is, oh no, not there, 50424. Okay, so what I've got in this little table here, it's placing, you put that in the first column, so the 50424 goes in this column, and you'd have successive columns there. But what we want to do is also calculate this interest value here. And we do that basically with this. So we're going to principal, which is 5,500, times the percentage essentially as a decimal. So we're going to go 6 divided by 100. That gives you the 0.06 divided by 4 because it's quarterly repayments. And we multiply that by the principal, and we get 8250. So I'd put 8250 here. So then what we do, as it's got here, we're going to have principal plus this, subtract that. So it's basically saying plus, minus, and the remaining number is your loan outstanding. And you can see that here. So this is where I've got them all plotted up. So what you've got is you're going to go plus, minus, actually let's do it slightly differently. Let's go, just as a first stop, I'm going to go plus, minus, gives me a value. Now I'm going to do it as a highlight. So I bring that number down to here. Then I go plus these two minus that one. I get that value. That value comes down here. Plus, minus, I get that value again. And sort of rinse, repeat. And I get that value again. And I keep doing that. In this case, it's gone for 12 cycles. So that's for the number of cycles they had. And you can see that it's gone down to effectively 0. Okay, so that's the idea for when we're, in this case, tracking a loan. When we're altering the frequency of payments, this is what worked example 11 is looking at. Okay, what it was looking at is, we've got an example here, the first one, it was quarterly payments of $928.45, and it'll pay off for exactly in 5 years. Now, what happens when we change that to equivalent monthly repayments, but we pay in monthly as opposed to quarterly, monthly with that value, and fortnightly with this value here. Okay, so what we're looking at is two parts. One is to find, here, sorry, the term of the loan. So how many months will it still go for? But what is that last payment? Because that last payment might be slightly different. So let's have a look. When I do, So when we've got the first one, so this is the information for the monthly repayment. So I've got 12 there. I've got the payment that corresponds to that there. What I find is if I put my number in there, I go enter. Oh, it should be 15,000. Sorry about that. And I get 59.58. So that's going to be 59.58. So it's still going to be 60 months before it's fully paid off. Okay. Now, what's slightly different here though, so that's the term of the loan. So I've done 1, 2, and I'm doing 2 for, so this is for the monthly one. And what I do there is I'm actually looking at the 59th payment, because remember, it's 59.58 is not 60. So, it's 59 payments, and part of that cycle I'd be paid off. So what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to look at 59 payments. I want to see what I've got after 59 payments. This actually deletes. This is getting me frustrated now. Okay, so 59 payments there. All right, so I want to look at the amount still owing. So the payment stays the same, but my FV is what's changing. So I go enter, and it says $179.27. Okay, so what I'm left with is I've got, it's going to take me in that last month, I'm going to pay, still last payment, prior to last payment, you would owe, Tessa would owe 179.27. Would owe 179 and $27. Okay, so that's how you would, in something like this, you would calculate that. Then I repeat that so I'm going to do fortnightly now. Okay, and so for the fortnightly repayments is $142.84, and this is mostly done here. So it's 26 repayments now. And I want to go back to N. I'm going to go enter. And I can see that it's 128.847 fortnightly repayments. So that's 128.85 payments. All right. So now, of course, how does this number of payments translate to the number of payments over years? Well, what I do there is I'm going to take that number, Control C, I'm going to get out of this, and I'm actually going to put it in here and go Control V, paste it, and divide that by 26, because that's what I've got to divide by here. Okay, and that gives me 4.955. Okay, so that's going to be 4 years. That means 4 years. The 0.99, let's just go here, ANS, rather than try to copy paste, ANS, and just -4, because I want the decimal part, -4, because that part there is basically a part of a year. I need to work out how much part of that year. So I'm going to go ANS again, because I want that value there. I'm going to go ANS, times 26, because I needed to know how many fortnights, and so 25. So 4 years and 25 fortnights. Okay, so that's the term of the loan. The amount still owing, well, I can see that, so that would have been, 129 months. But if I want to be pedantic, it's 4 years and 25 fortnights. All right. Amount still owing prior to last payment. Well, I'd look at the 128 part. So let's look at, if I say N is 128. Yeah. And everything else here will be the same, except the payments will be slightly different. Okay. So I'm going to go back to menu, finance, finance solver. This becomes 128. All right. That becomes 128. 8.5 is the same. That's the same. What am I after? I'm after final volume. I'm going to go enter. And I've got 120. So what that means here is the amount still owing prior. And so to answer part 2, it would be prior to last payment. So prior to last payment, Tessa would owe $120.60, I think it was 64 cents. Okay, and that's how you'd calculate a question like that. Okay. Question 12, the worked example 12 is using that same data and calculating the total interest and effect is, and yeah. So what are we looking at? So in this case, we know that after 5 years, you know exactly for 5 years that when we do quarterly, what we've got is we're using this formula here, total repayments. So total repayments is the number of interest-bearing periods times your payment, and minus the principal repaid. So that this here is number of payments times the payment. Okay. So in this example here, we had 5 years quarterly. So that's 20 times the payment, which is 928 minus the principal, gives me 3,569. When I do it monthly, we can see that it was 59. Remember, it's not. It was 59 point something. So we're saying it's 59 of the full repayments plus that partial repayment. But we've got to put some interest on that payment because it's still going to have interest on it. The interest that would be, we'd work it out. It's like we've done previously. We're going to go 8.5 in this case divided by 12 because it's monthly. So the interest for that month would be 0.7083. So we get our interest on that last bit of on that $179, and it's $1.27. So we add our last payment plus interest to our number of payments of the total repayment. So that's like saying 59 times, well, it's not like saying, it's 59 times the payment plus that partial payment with interest minus the principal. Okay, so this part here, okay, that part there is all the total payment that you're making, and you can see that when we look at the monthly saving, going this way, we're going to take in from the quarterly version, we're saving $129.14. Now, when we look at it on a fortnightly basis, remember it was 128 full fortnightly payments with the extra $120.64. Now we have to get interest on that, same process as before. So what we get is our total final payment, including interest, is $121.03. So I add that to my 128 times the payment and subtract the 15,000, which is the principal. That gives me 3,404. Now, that gives me a saving of $164.45. So you can see that if you can pay more often, then what you're going to be paying at the end is less. Okay? And that's sort of what we're looking at in these sort of particular questions here to give you a feel for what the purpose is of that. Okay? Thank you. Bye.